just can't keep your promises to change and transform. Well, there is a solution, there is a way out, and there's a way for you to change your life. But you have to take on strategies and techniques that will change how you think. You have to change your mindset. The mindset that brought you here today, where you're battling with sex addiction or compulsive sexual behavior, the mindset that brought you here is not the same mindset that can fix it. Hey guys, I'm behavioral health and sex addiction recovery coach Rob Lopicola, and I'm so grateful you're here with me today. I wanted to talk with you today about the cycle of sex addiction and how you live in this cycle for month after month, year after year, maybe for you, decade after decade, you've lived in this cycle of sex addiction and you seemingly can't escape. I have recovered from meth addiction, alcohol addiction, and compulsive sexual behavior for many, many years now. And I coach men who are courageously battling their compulsive sexual behavior, which is putting their marriage, career, reputation, future, and life at risk. And help men who are battling with sex addiction and compulsive sexual behavior to change and transform their behavior, their way of thinking, their mindset, so they can express themselves sexually in a healthy way, free from shame, guilt, and isolation, and of course, save their marriages, their careers, their futures. And if you are one of these men who are compulsive in sexual behavior and your life is a bit unmanageable, or you are suffering consequences, you're in the right spot. Please subscribe to my channel. I posted a video weekly every Tuesday to help you change and transform your life. I also offer a free 30-minute 10-step strategy session on my website, sexaddictionrelief.com. I'll have the link below. Please feel free to watch that free 30-minute 10-step strategy session. It will begin to help you heal from your compulsive sexual behavior. In the meantime, today I wanted to talk with you about the cycle of sex addiction. There is a cycle that you have been enduring, maybe not even knowing that you've been enduring this cycle for so long, and you're exhausted. You are exhausted of battling with compulsive sexual behavior. You have tried over and over and over again to gain control in your life, to limit your compulsive sexual behavior to no avail. Self-promises, promises to your partner or your wife or your husband, or promises to your boss that you change. And meanwhile, as the weeks, months, and years progress, so does your addiction, and so do your behaviors become increasingly compulsive, increasingly addictive, and ultimately putting everything at risk. You just can't keep your promises to change and transform. Well, there is a solution, there is a way out, and there's a way for you to change your life. But you have to take on strategies and techniques that will change how you think. You have to change your mindset. The mindset that brought you here today, where you're battling with sex addiction or compulsive sexual behavior, the mindset that brought you here is not the same mindset that can fix it. If you've been trying to fix your lifestyle with the same mindset that brought you here without changing your thinking or changing how your mind works, nothing will change. In essence, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Your mindset must change. And you need a coach, you need a mentor, you need counseling, you need something that's going to help you change your thinking. I lived in compulsive sexual behavior for decades, alcohol addiction for decades, methamphetamine addicted for years, and I tried to fix it with the same mindset that brought me down the hole of addiction, that brought me to the doldrums of life where I wanted to die. That mindset needed to be changed. And I want your mindset to change. That's the only way your life is going to change for the better, is by changing your thinking. We're going to offer you that at Academy of Life Change in my coaching, to change how you think, to change how you behave, and ultimately change your life. But the cycle of sex addiction is a cycle you've been living in for so long, and I'm sure you're exhausted. And let's talk about that cycle, because if you are sex addicted or compulsive in sexual behavior, it's likely that this cycle will resonate with you. Well, the first part of the cycle is 4 attributes to this cycle. The first one is preoccupation. Preoccupation is when your mind starts to think about acting out in your compulsive sexual behavior, your choice, if you will, of compulsive sexual behavior. For sex addicts or those who are battling compulsive sexual behavior, you're not necessarily just addicted to sex across the board. You're addicted to certain behaviors that give you a fix or make you, quote unquote, feel good and escape the discomfort of life, the discomfort of just being with you. Preoccupation is the initial thought of acting out in a certain compulsive behavior that gives you that fix. You start thinking about it. You become preoccupied with it. And as you think about it, the preoccupation stage leads to the obsession stage, where now you're not only thinking about it, but you're obsessing about it. You're obsessing about watching pornography later, or you're obsessing about going to the sex club, or you're obsessing about going and cruising in the park, or you're obsessing about going on Grindr later, looking for the next chemsex party or the next hookup, or hookup after hookup. You may go on Grindr for hours and hours, but the obsession is now you simply cannot stop thinking about acting out in that compulsive behavior. So you went from preoccupation, where you're thinking about it, and then you went to obsession. Now the decision's pretty much been made. You're obsessive, and now you're going to act on the initial thought that's now obsessive. You're going to act on it. And once you start, you seemingly are unable to stop. Whether it's going on Grindr, Tinder, Bumble, whatever site you go on to hook up and find sex and find dates perhaps, or find someone to save you from your loneliness, or watching pornography or cruising in parks, whatever it is, going to the sex club. Once you start, you seemingly are unable to stop. That's the compulsion. You're compulsive now. Now, once you start the behavior, you can't stop. And you don't want to stop. It's like tunnel vision. It's your whole focus. You'll put everything on the back burner: work, family engagements, dinner plans, anything. You'll put it all on the back burner when you're in compulsive behavior. Once you start, you seemingly are unable to stop. Then, after a period of time of acting in your compulsive behavior, or your drug of choice with your sexually compulsive behavior, whether it's methamphetamine or alcohol or poppers or GHB, whatever it is, once the party's over, or once enough time has passed that you have to get back to life, you fall into desperation. That's the fourth attribute of the cycle of sex addiction: desperation. You feel desperate, hopeless. You're in a state of despair. This is when you are self-deprecating, you hate yourself, you regret what you've been doing, you're filled with shame and guilt, regret. You can't believe that you acted out in those compulsive behaviors. You're just so shameful, and you hate yourself, and you feel dirty and unworthy and unlovable. And you sit there just self-deprecating, but you wear the mask of being okay. You laugh with your friends, you go into work, you're seemingly functioning at work, but you're in a state of despair. You hate yourself. But you can't deal with that for so long because it's so uncomfortable. You go back into preoccupation. The cycle begins again. You start thinking about acting out again. Even if you promised yourself, you won't go on Grindr again. You're not going to hook up. You deleted the app, but you download it again. You just can't keep your promise. You're back into preoccupation, and then obsession, then compulsion, then despair. And you live this way over and over for months or years or decades. Preoccupation, obsession, compulsion, despair, and you can't seemingly stop. How long do you want to live on this cycle? Where will you be in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years from now if you don't end the cycle of your sex addiction? It's going to progress. It's going to get worse, more intense. You're going to become more dependent on your compulsive sexual behavior. And it may progress to drugs and alcohol if you're not already there. If you're already not consuming substances to enhance your compulsive sexual behavior, it will likely go there. And you're going to lose everything. Ultimately, you will. You initially now have lost your confidence, self-esteem, your peace, your serenity. It's gone. Are you willing to sacrifice now your career, your financial stability, your relationship, your friends, your family, your life? How far do you want to go? I've learned that you're not going to be done with this until you're done. You'll be done when you're done. And the question is, are you done? And if you're done, there are strategies and techniques you can adopt. You can begin right now to change and transform your life. And I want you to start taking those steps by watching my free 10-step strategy session. These are 10 steps, 10 initial steps you can take right now to begin changing and transforming your life from a life of compulsive sexual behavior to a life of freedom, where you can express yourself healthy in sexual ways, free from shame, guilt, and isolation. There's an answer for you. There is a solution. You can end the cycle of sex addiction. You can end the life of misery and dependence on compulsive sexual behavior if you're done, if you're ready for change. I can help you. Let me help you change and transform your life. I post a video weekly right here on my YouTube channel to help you change and take control back in your life. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and please watch my free 10-step strategy session. Go to sexaddictionrelief.com. I offer many free strategies to help you change and transform your life. Let's do it together. Remember, the mindset that brought the problem is not the same mindset that can fix it. You need a changed mindset, and I can help you get there. Thank you so much for being with me this week. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care now.